Hi, this is Tina from Inner Delight, and welcome back to another We Uplift moment. Joining me again is the beautiful Amy Myszko from Sacred Earth Herbals, and it's such a joy to spend time together. Welcome back, Amy.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, I love the work that you're doing with the flower essences, and for anyone who's watched the previous segments, experiencing them just through watching and hearing you talk about them, I can feel the energy shift, so it'd be fun to hear what other people experience. But I also hear that you created your very own essences, and being in Crestone, Colorado, from what I've heard about it so far, I mean, the people that I've met from there, what a phenomenal community.
It is. It's a blessing to live here. Yeah.
So would you share
And
about
these,
your essences?
sure, yes. So these are actually both out of my garden. I would love to do a lot more wild essences here, but we've had a bad drought this year, and so it's been a bad time for collecting things, just kind of letting things lay out there this year. But I did feel moved to make two from my garden this year, and I thought they were really interesting because I actually didn't know what either of them, what the energies were. Before I made them, I simply just felt called to do it, and I made them. So I guess the first one I would love to talk about is sunflower. Everybody knows sunflowers, and they're so beautiful. I had some gorgeous, huge, tall, big yellow sunflowers in my garden this summer. And one day the wind blew one down. So I took that opportunity while it was still living, but, had come down to go ahead and make an essence about it, or with it, rather. And it's really interesting. I have this encyclopedia of flower essences, which is great because it'll give multiple people's opinions about what they do. But the consensus on the sunflower essence is that it helps us with archetypal father issues.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. I'm like, okay, that's up. I'll acknowledge that. I'll own that. But what it helps with is to rebuild self-confidence and to take personal responsibility for things rather than saying I'm a victim or there's these outside forces that are controlling me, be them our actual fathers or men in our lives, or simply energies where we're feeling like as women very just controlled in that kind of the old paradigm. And so this one helps to rebuild that confidence and that certainty in our own beings as women. I think this comes up for men too, but I've actually not had it. I mean, I think this is valid for men too, and I'm sure men have archetypal father issues also. But for me and for my clients, it's only come up for women thus far. And so for those people that are in some sort of conflict situations with either their actual father or the archetypal father figure, this one is really supportive because it helps ease conflict by giving us back a feeling of self-ownership, self-respect, self-certainty, when we might have given our power away, or when we might be kind of caught into a situation where we're playing out really old paradigm stuff, with this kind of controlling, I don't know if people do tarot, but the kind of emperor owns the whole kingdom, in charge of the world kind of paradigm that we can run into both just energetically and with actual, with relationships in our lives. So very interesting. Sunflower, sun, the sun is so often associated as a masculine force, where the earth is like the feminine force. So I think it's pretty interesting essence to have come up at this time. I know for me it's up, I don't have to go into the whole personal story with that, but I also know it's come up for some of my clients very strongly just this summer and the things that have been happening, dealing with that archetypal father figure. So I don't know if that resonates with you or if you have any feelings about that.
Well, it makes me think of I think it's the sunflower. The image I get is to just really stand tall and to let your light shine and to really, to stand in your alignment. And so in order to do that, that calls on you to really stand in your own authority. So it would definitely bring up any issues from as far as the patriarchal imprinting, anywhere where that may have distorted that brings that out of balance. And I've definitely say over the last few months, my God, it's like the pot's being stirred, and it's like,
yeah, I don't know. I have this feeling of just needed to stand up and be like, "Rawr!"
Yeah.
So that's well put. Yeah, strength, strong, tall, majestic, shining the light in the world, and not being controlled by these old paradigms or by relationships or people, that can go down to the microcosm and go out to the macrocosm. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few drops of that.
Cool.
Yeah. They're powerful little things.
Can you take too many in a day?
No, I'll go into that. With a single essence or like a formula which is dealing with what's currently on the surface, I truly don't think you can take too much. I drink them kind of like candy. You were saying before, like a kid in the candy shop, but it's kind of like that for me, especially if I'm right in the middle of something. It just feels so good and like, get more more into me, more onto me, whatever it is, but just have that energy flowing. I have witnessed a person do something called an onion technique with flower essences, which basically they had her take all of the essences that came up, and then they doused again, and then they did that again. And by the time they got to that third layer, to me it seemed a little bit, just a little too fast. Like, I like to give the body and the emotional bodies and everybody some time to process. And she had a big cathartic breakdown or breakthrough, and I think it was good for her. I think she got a lot of old trauma stuff really, but she cried and cried, and it was public, and I kind of felt bad for her. Like, it wouldn't have been my choice. If a person wanted to do that with me in private and they really wanted to do an onioning process, that I would honor that. But I just I saw somebody do that in public as like a demonstration, and it was like, no, that's, to me, a little heroic. I go with a really gentle perspective on everything, be it nutrition, be it herbal, remedies like flower essence therapy. Is why I use flower essences so much. I feel like they are so gentle. You can use them with anybody. You can use them with people on medications. You can use them with babies and elders and animals and people that are very ill. So I guess that's my one story of something I saw that I thought was maybe a little excessive, but you really cannot hurt yourself with the flower essences. And I always ask when I am tuning in and dousing and everything, I always ask for the layer that's up, that's ready to be looked at, that's ready to be dealt with. I don't want to push people past what their own personal intelligence of their body and their spirit, is ready to do.
Beautiful.
So that's kind of my spiel on that. But I just have one other essence that I know of. I've made a few this summer that I haven't done provings on yet, which we could maybe I'll do something at a later date with folks. This one is borage, and borage is so gorgeous. These little blue flowers, the bees love it. I have it up on my blog, actually, from making this one. I took some pictures because it's so pretty, and a lot of people don't know what the process of making a flower essence is. And I could talk more about that, but I was going to just talk about the borage essence because this one also seemed incredibly appropriate for what's going on right now, of course. And this one is about courage. It helps give us power and courage to confront exhausting emotional situations. So there's some other essences we've talked about in some other segments, but when we're feeling paralyzed, when we're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted emotionally, this one helps us by proceeding in our life with optimism, with joy, rediscovering those things that bring us joy, and having courage to face those things that are difficult emotionally. Which I think we all know on a deeper level are things that are helping us to evolve, or old things that we have to clear. But it's just helping give us that courage to go through those trials, so that we can rediscover the joy and that we can come closer into contact with our our spirit, our core selves. And so seems appropriate.
And that came into being the same time as the sunflower essence that you made?
Both of them this summer. I did them at different times. Yeah. But for people that don't know how to make a flower essence, I've read lots of different ways of doing it. But the way that I learned from my teacher, who I really respected, was simply taking some flowers and placing them in a crystal bowl with as pure water as you could possibly find. So for me, I use either filtered stream water from behind my house here, or I do a big hike and I go up to a spring that comes out the side of the mountain.
Wow.
And I collect water up there. So yeah, as pure and untainted natural water as you can get. And you simply put the flowers into the crystal bowl of water, face up, and you put them in the sun, unless it's a flower that blooms at night. And then I like to do full moon essences. But most of them, I put them in the sun for a half a day, and you're not extracting any constituents. It's not a tincture. You're not using alcohol to extract constituents. You're not boiling it or putting it in hot water. The sun warms the water a bit, but what it is it's the intention. So you use prayer. I pray to the plant devas. I pray to the spirits that I pray to, creator, source, the mother, whomever, and that plant. And I offer tobacco, always offer tobacco. And I simply just ask that the healing energies that this plant, this flower have to offer for all the beings on this planet become infused in that water. And so that's all it is. It's they're energetically created just with intention, because those spirits, those plant devas, those flower spirits, they want to help us. So it's simply learning how to ask, and then putting them into a vehicle that we can actually experience. If you're not out there touching the flowers and smelling them, and that's so great too, because that's also medicine. That's the same medicine. You're getting that energy, but this is it's so great to be able to transmit this energy in a way. And then all you do after that, after the essence is completed, is you preserve it with some alcohol. Or vinegar. So if people are very sensitive to alcohol, you can also preserve flower essences with vinegar. So this is a mother essence, and that's what it's called when you make an essence like that and you preserve it. And then you can use 4 to 7 drops of a mother essence to create a stock bottle, which is what you would buy in a store. And then you can use a few drops of that, 4 to create dosage bottles for people. So the medicine just keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a mother bottle, my gosh. Like, I could do the math, actually. I know how many drops are in a 1 ounce bottle. I could do the math, but it's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of doses of medicine.
Great.
So it's pretty exciting. So, yeah, the 2 that came out are all about courage, standing up for ourselves, getting into our own power, just all these things that are up, it seems like, in the world right now, where we can't do our work if we can't speak our truth, if we can't stand in our own truth and do our, do what we need to do in a good way. And so I thought those were probably both pretty appropriate for what's going on right now.
Yeah, and the interesting thing just occurs to me, I think in colors a lot, so thinking the yellow flower and the blue, when you blend it, you have green, so when you activate those energies, it awakens the heart center, so, wow.
Oh, how interesting. See, things that I'd never even think of. Cool.
This is fun.
It is fun, and the flowers and the different colors of the flowers definitely have a lot to do with their energies, and boy, there's just so much, that you could get into, or that you could perceive on different levels with these medicines. And I certainly have my filters and stuff, but I always try to open myself to deeper or new understandings.
Beautiful. Gosh, for people to experience this with you, you were sharing before that they can connect with you over Skype, so people can actually experience a session with you where you will douse and find out which essences are in alignment with them. And they can go to sacredearthherbals.com, your website, and visit you on Facebook on the Sacred Earth Herbals page and share their experiences from watching these videos, having sessions with you, and who knows what other wonderful ideas are going to emerge. I'm looking forward to it.
Right? It's a co-creative process. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And for people that don't have a webcam, I can do over the phone too. It's kind of nice to connect face to face, but I've done plenty of phone consultations, and it's amazing how energetic medicine, you don't have to be in the same place. You don't have to see their face. I've doused off of names before without even talking to a person and had it come up, to be right on. So that always astounds me. It shouldn't, because I've done, hundreds and hundreds of these, but it always astounds me just how accurate, when you can really tune in and get rid of all that background noise, ego, kind of conscious mind stuff, that just how accurate this stuff is, and how much these medicines want to help people, how much these plant beings, have to offer us. So
yeah, beautiful. So I think, for anyone who is, how shall we say it? If you have a passion or an affinity with the flower realm, and that the aspect of nature, there is so much joy there because the colors and the fragrances and everything that they share. And when that's being transmitted into the world, it's like it just, ah, yummy.
It is. That's true. Couldn't be too many gardeners or too many people that love to be outside and and helping with that healing energy. I think just being in nature is, for me, so important. I just can't. I can't express it enough.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for sharing your wisdom and your light with us, and for being here in these We Uplift moments. And I look forward to many more opportunities to share. And until the next time, many joyful blessings.
Thank you so much, Tina. Blessings to you as well.
Thank you.